Fast cars, trips to Mars, houses with kitchen bars, TVs, PCs, gardens full of bees. All this stuff costs money, usually quite a lot of it. Big purchases require big prep, not just in terms of saving money, but in research and planning for them too. Today, we'll explore the process of making these decisions and what to keep in mind when doing so. The first step in making that big purchase is to identify your needs. This might seem obvious at first. A couch is for sitting, a car is for driving, a PC is for running Microsoft Excel in 4K, but let's get a little more specific. For example, if your PC is actually going to be an Excel machine, you can probably dial back the system specs a bit and save time and money tracking down expensive parts. Asking questions like, how often am I going to use this? Or what present problem does this solve? Are key in narrowing down your search to specific models and product lines that meet your needs. This will guide you through to the next big factor, price. Products with slightly different use cases are often priced differently from one another. It's fine to have a maximum amount that you're willing to spend, but make sure that's informed by your research. Having to save a little extra to get that perfect match, or realizing that you don't need all those fancy bells and whistles that you've already budgeted for, are both possible outcomes here. This prompts a related question. How long do you want it to last? Useful life is an accounting concept that comes in handy for consumers too. While you may be paying for that item up front, you're likely going to be getting value from it for years to come. So take that into account when you're deciding how much you're willing to spend. Accounting also reminds us that stuff continues to have economic value after we buy it. Whether it appreciates, depreciates, or holds value depends on what kind of product it is, and you can then realize that value by selling it when your needs change or you replace it with something else. Oh, yeah, we do have to pay for it, and there's more ways to do that than just paying cash up front. Buying with debt, also called financing, is an option for most major purchases and is pretty much necessary when buying a home. This usually, though not always, means paying interest. If you're lucky enough to get no interest financing, you can take the money you're not spending now and put it in a savings or investment account to use interest to grow it, a strategy I've discussed before. If not, then I'm sorry for the math, but you need to factor in interest payments into your purchasing decision. P is the principal, the price of the item. D, the down payment, is money paid when taking the loan to decrease overall interest paid. Interest rate I and number of payments N then play hopscotch with the number 1 a couple of times to account for compound interest. All this gives you your monthly payment M, which increases with P and I and decreases when D and N increase. From that terrifying equation, we know that a longer loan means smaller payments but more interest paid overall. If you're on a tight budget and need to free up more of your cash flow or need to build up an emergency fund, this might be a sensible option. That said, anything you go into that kind of debt for should be necessary, like a car to commute to work or an important medical procedure, not a new flashy TV or a 69-carat engagement ring. There are cheaper ways to treat ourselves and express our love for one another. Whatever it is you're looking to buy, you're likely not going to find the perfect item for the perfect price. There are always benefits and trade-offs, and if you're looking for perfection, you're likely going to get stuck in analysis paralysis. The art of making big purchases is being deliberate, not perfect. Know what you want or need and why, and make a plan of how you're going to pay for it. It's the best thing you could possibly do for future you. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, you can subscribe, check out my other stuff, or do an engagement by smashing those like or comment buttons. Whatever you choose, remember that while adulting may be scary, we're all in this together.